Hey guys, this is Clem here talking for Escape Studio. This is our webinar. I hope you're well. I don't know how many of you are behind that screen. I hope you're comfortably seated. We're going to talk a little bit about camera and compositing and how to transition from camera and to compositing or the other way around. Why not? And the reason we're going to do that is because it's a little bit the story of my life in a way. It's just I'm a visual effect artist, actually. I'm teaching compositing 2D at Escape Studio. And before that, I used to be a camera operator. I was behind the camera. It's a slightly hybrid, unusual kind of profile in the industry. And actually it proved quite beneficial. And since then, well, it helped me to work my way throughout the VFX industry as well. And I realized actually also it really informed my way of working, so my understanding, but also I got the opportunity to do things probably a little bit more efficiently for that reason. So there is clearly a benefit to try and understand a little bit what the two sides of the film industry, which is the production, the set, the on-set, the camera department, for instance, and the VFX, the other side, the 2D, 3D department, editing, all that part of the film industry that happens after the shooting. So usually they don't really communicate much, or they have their different language. So we're going to go through all that. And if you have any question, by all means, feel free. If you don't, or if it comes a bit later, maybe I can go through my little story and then the question can come, well, whenever you want, really. So let me introduce myself a little bit. So, oh, by the way, this is what we're going to go through today. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my background, and also we're going to have a look into the context of industry today, and also the early days of the VFX, the relation between the set, the production, and the post-production. Actually, the filming is called production. That's the production part. The visual effects is the post-production part. I'm sure you guys probably know that, so I apologize if it's known territory already. Then we'll go to the second part, which I call the bridge, which is kind of to understand what link really, in practical terms, the two sides, VFX and shooting. And the last part is probably to look at a bit ahead and see what's the future of, well, not only the film industry as a whole, but especially that articulation dynamic between the production and the post-production. So we can have a look into that. So that's me. I'm Clem. As I said, I have 16 years experience in the film industry, and it started on set behind the camera. I kind of got lucky to catch up with a company that was doing aerial shooting in Belgium. I'm French, by the way, but you probably got that. So why Belgium? Just because it's a nice country, nice people, they have nice food, and they do amazing tools like the one I've been working with. So just to give you a little bit of an idea of the sort of environment I used to work in. So that's in Prague. And Prague is acting there as Paris, just because it's cheaper and Paris is a pain to shoot. And it's action shots. There are cars and vehicles. You can see a camera there. That was me. And then there is also, oops, there you go. I don't know how the video comes across on your screen. Maybe it's a bit choppy, but that was one day in my life. I'm in Prague on set. In fact, this is G.I. Joe, Rise of Cobra, whatever that is. I've seen the film, it's not really amazing, but that's the film. So once you sit in the cinema, not only I could see the cars that I had seen before, but there were more stuff. There were the guys, there's gliding, sliding, jumping, but I had never seen these guys, right? So, and that's how the whole story started. Again, was behind the camera. I was rather happy. I can, by the way, show you a little bit of my credit and so forth. So that's my IMDb page, and I have kind of a 20-ish credits. Actually, some of them are not even there in the camera department. So you have a bit of Mission Impossible, Nutcracker, Robin Hood, G.I. Joe, we've seen that, Soloist, very nice film by Joe Wright, Eragon, Da Vinci Code, Harry Potter, Goblet of Fire, we did also The Prisoner of Azkaban and that sort of thing. Hostage, I'm going to show you a tiny bit of Hostage as well. And visual effect, I'm fairly new. I moved to visual effect about 6 years ago. But as I said, my background, the 11 years that I've spent behind the camera really helped me to put me a little bit on a sort of fast track as well in terms of visual effects. And for good reason, because if you understand the making of the shot that you end up working on as a visual effect artist, you kind of get quite naturally, you're at ease basically, you're really comfortable with that material and you understand what the parameters comes from and what they relate, how they relate to each other. So in terms of visual effect, I have only 9 credits as far as feature film are concerned. And I'm particularly proud of the Ex Machina that I'm going to talk about as well. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but it's a great, great film. So here we go. That was me. And that was the beginning of the story indeed, because when I started working on this film, Harry Potter and so forth, I realized that what we used to do in front of the camera gradually was disappearing, vanishing. The as we say, in-camera action, like the one you've seen in G.I. Joe, well, gradually part of it was actually happening later in the visual effects side. So I got frustrated and I got curious, right? I'm going to show you another work here, which is Hostage. I'm going to cut the sound. Well, it's not too bad, actually, that one. I'd say. I don't know if you've seen that. This is the actual Bruce Willis, because we were close enough, so I'm actually in control of the camera, not the helicopter. It's a very tiny, small helicopter, and I was the guy in control of the camera. I had a pilot who was directing the small chopper. So we were close enough indeed to kind of justify the fact that the real Bruce Willis was in the frame, because most of the time I got to work on second units. So second unit is usually bigger than the first unit, sometimes at least on the Harry Potter, and it's all the action thing. So what you're seeing now, it's what I used to do, close range aerial shots, that sort of things. And well, here there is absolutely zero visual effect. So far so good, but as I said, it started to change when we got more and more green screen, more and more stuff basically in front of the lens, in front of the camera, that I couldn't make sense of at all. So I wanted to share also these few pictures from the set. It's all from Harry Potter. I'm not even completely sure I'm allowed to do that, but it's been a long time. So that's me. Long time ago, right? I don't have that haircut anymore, so don't blame me. So this is the tool I used to work with, and you probably recognize the guys. Well, these are the doubles, okay? At least you can recognize the character, but they are not the actual celebrities, actors. These are the double, okay? So that's how it looks like. This is Leavesden Studio, Northwest London, now turned into apparently theme park. I've never been, haven't been there back. Once they turn it after the shooting into a theme park, a Harry Potter theme park. So we are evolving in that environment where you have most of it is made up. It's from the art department. They're creating all that. You see that there are tracking markers. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but this is sort of, well, reference point basically, which are going to be used for the camera tracking in the post-production side. So that's part of the visual effects. And again, this is where it kind of started, because I was not familiar with that. I'm shooting stuff with my camera. You know, I'm a technician. It's all physical. I'm down to earth. It's practical. And suddenly, more and more abstract stuff were coming into the frame. So, for instance, we had to shoot this arena, but part of it, the upper side, was completely green. And that was a bit puzzling because I couldn't understand how they were stitching those things together. Same thing here. So tracking markers, you have the lights there, and then everything was going green. So as I said, curiosity and frustration combined. For me, so far, cinema was that. There was the behind, okay, scaffolding, and the front, but the whatever we had in front of camera so far was something more tangible, okay?